Bueno. Hi guys.
Hi, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
Hi there.
Hi, teacher.
Hi,
Hi.
teacher.
Hello. Okay, guys, so please don't forget to turn your cameras on. Okay. So, okay, so today we're actually gonna continue working on the speaking section. In fact, we'll be looking at the same task we started with last class, sorry, which is the independent question, right? If you remember, here they ask you a question, it's about a familiar topic. You usually get 2 or more options from which to choose, and you get 15 seconds to prep and then 45 seconds to answer the question. So today we're going to be practicing. If necessary, I'm going to be giving you guys some feedback, and yes, we'll be looking at different types of questions. So do you guys have any questions before we start? Any questions about the task or anything? Okay then, so let's practice. Okay. So let's start with this question here. The question is, how do you think about university education? Some people think it's important and some don't. So do you guys think that university education is important? You'll have 15 seconds to prepare your responses. Okay then, so any of you would like to go first? Anybody wants to go first? Okay, so maybe, I don't know, Lucia, maybe you can try.
Good evening, teacher. I just arrived. I don't know if someone else can try, please.
Okay,
Because
yes,
I don't understand what is dynamic.
Okay, don't worry. Maybe then, Miriam, do you care to go first? Yes, Miriam, would you mind?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead.
Well, it depends on what you wanna do for a living. For example, if you wanna be a doctor, of course you need to have university education. But for other things that requires more talent than education, for example, arts, it may not be so necessary for painting. That would be my answer, teacher.
Okay, so well done. All right, we talked about kind of, it depends on what you do. Like in some cases you do need university education. In other cases, you don't actually need to go to college. Talk about art, medicine, maybe I would say try to just go for one. Maybe say something like, yeah, I think that you do need to go to college or it's necessary. And then you can talk about medicine and just focus on that idea. It will be a little bit clearer. And about the structure, maybe I would say, make sure that you have an introduction. You guys need to do you need an introduction always. So don't start right off with it depends. Tell me, I believe, or I feel this way, or I would say, or I agree. Okay, something that answers the question directly first. And remember,
Thanks,
guys, if
teacher.
you have some more time at the end, you can always do a conclusion as well, in case you have time. It's not necessary. So let's try another question. Let's see. So, okay. So this one here is, if you're gonna choose a position in the school community during summer vacation, which one would you choose? Library desk, front, or receptionist, technician, or paint a wall in the community? So what would you guys choose for summer vacation? Let's see. All right. So maybe now, Jokabe?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, go on.
Okay, personally speaking, I prefer to go the position related to the painting the wall in the community for different reasons. First of all, I think I really like painting, and for vacation is a really good activity in order to relax and have a good time. And the other reason, you can increase more abilities and maybe explore some skills that you don't know. So for those reasons, I think the best position for the summer vacation is painting the wall.
Okay, that was amazing. You're correct, perfect. So the structure was awesome. You had the intro, you had two reasons. You separate them, the two of them. You had a closing idea, a conclusion as well. Your arguments were different from each other. You used some transitions. So first of all, maybe you could have used another one when you were gonna give the second reason as well. So instead of the other reason, say something like furthermore or on top of that, besides. Something like that would be nice. And yeah, maybe just that. Careful with some words like increase maybe versus improve. Increase is usually when you talk about amounts, about numbers. And improve is more when you talk about things that you cannot count, like qualities or abilities in that case. So careful with that. But well done.
Thank you, teacher.
Response. Okay, let's try another one. So maybe, okay, this one. Some people think life in modern times is easier than our grandparents. Do you agree with that? So 15 seconds. Okay, maybe Eloy?
Yes, teacher.
All right, you may start.
Okay. Personally, I think that I agree with the statement, and I believe this mainly because today we have more tools and technology that our grandfathers didn't didn't have. Take the internet, for example. In those days, if one wanna to search some information, they only just finding this in books in a library, and take a lot of time searching the correct information. But now, thanks the internet, we can find this same information, but in a short time, when a short period of time.
Okay, nice, perfect. So, okay, I really like that. So you have your reason, you have your example, I like the way you introduced your example, take the internet, for example. And then I like that comparison that you did, like, because in this one, it's kind of like comparing, you know, so how life was in modern, how life was with our grandparents and how it is right now in modern times. So you did that with the example, and that made you use different tenses as well, different structures. Careful maybe with the tenses, it took them a long time and now it takes us less time. And some expressions, maybe thanks to, we're gonna say something like, gracias a, thanks to the internet, or thanks to with the to. So thanks to the internet. And remember grandparents, right? Not grandfathers. So careful there. Okay. Yes, Ale?
Teacher, I want to try to this. I want to try to answer this question.
Yes, of course. That's great. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I don't agree with that. I think people today have technology and tools, and this is an advantage, but lifestyle is really more expensive. For example, for our grandparents, real estates were cheaper. They got a house until 25 years old. They got car when they were teenagers or young, and they can they can they can they can have more kids, and that was really easy to to their lifestyle.
Okay. All right. So we may have a debate here. So, okay, I like that. Usually I say don't add any counterclaims, but in your case, it was quite clear what your position were, where you stand. So you said, don't agree with this, very clear. And then you said, you know, they may have technology and stuff. However, try to use some transitions as you go instead of but. So, however, right now life is more expensive. And then you give an example, which is really cool. You also compared how it was back then and how it is now. When you're going to talk about the past, careful with the tenses. So you need to be extra careful when you're giving an example in the past, like in this case. So they could have more kids, right? Instead of they can have.
Okay, yes.
Careful with those things.
I forgot completely. Thank you.
No, no worries. But I think that was the only one. All the other tenses were right. So perfect. Yes, Lucia?
I'm sorry, teacher. Now that I understand what is the dynamic, can I try, please?
Okay. Do you want to try with this same question or would you prefer another one?
I would like to try with this question. It's okay for you?
Yes, of course. Okay, so you can go.
Thank you, teacher. Well, from my point of view, I think that nowadays our life is easier than our grandparents because they had to resist more aggressive problems. For example, of violence than we live nowadays. For example, in my country, they had to endure problems of terrorism, and it was really difficult. Nowadays, it is different for us because we don't have to live with this kind of things or aggressive events. So yes, it's easier. I agree with some people that talk about this.
Okay, All right, well done, perfect. So I like how you guys are managing your time. You got that part down. The structure too. All of you guys are giving examples, which is awesome. And yeah, I think grammar was pretty cool in your case. You got the right tenses. Okay, nothing to say. I mean, vocabulary as well. You know, like speaking of violence, and that's nice. Okay. No comments, I would say. That was great. Okay. Okay, this one here. We're looking at some broad ones right now. So children should be vaccinated to prevent disease. Do you think that that's a good idea? Give reasons and details to support your argument. So should we vaccinate children? 15 seconds. All right. Perhaps maybe Milenka?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, go now.
Okay. I think that it's better for children to get vaccinated when they are when they are children, because it helps them to grow up stronger. For example, I have two cousins. When they were a child, when they were younger, one gets vaccinated and the other no. But the one that get vaccinated didn't get many disease when she grew up, but the other one got very sick. So I think it's better for them to get vaccinated.
Okay, nicely done. So, okay, you had your reason, they get stronger, and it's better to vaccinate them when they are young, when they're kids. And you got your examples too. And I like a comparison of two cousins, one was vaccinated, the other one wasn't. So no comments. For grammar, careful with the tenses. You know, it didn't sound that bad because sometimes you can use the simple present to tell stories in the past as well. So, but try to keep the same tense. So you could say, I have two cousins. So one is vaccinated, the other one isn't. And one, I don't know, gets sick, the other one doesn't, or one is stronger, or they get sick. So you can actually tell a story like that, just using the simple present. But if you're gonna do that, then you don't have to use any past tenses. So try not to, try to avoid them. Or you need to turn everything into the past tense. So one was vaccinated and they grew up and they got stronger or whatever, okay? So careful with the tenses in general, that's what I would say.
Okay.
And also children, child, right? So children, plural, and child, singular.
Okay.
Okay, let's try another one. So this one is a bit easier. There's going to be a TV show that relates to students. Which show would you like to watch? An interview with school leaders, a students debate on political and social topics, or a comedy about school life? So what show would you guys recommend? 15 seconds. Okay. Maybe Karina, you there?
Yes,
All right.
just one moment, please.
Sure.
Okay, now I can start.
Okay, so please go now.
I would recommend the TV show about comedy and comedy related to school life, because in this way, after your studies, you can relax and you can find another way to spend your life. You know what people say, it's not everything about the studying and work. So if you take time to enjoy a TV show after your university, and you can have a relaxed time, this can also help you to be more concentrated next day at university.
Okay, that was awesome, amazing. So, okay, no comments really. Ramos was great. I would have said, maybe try to give an example. Like I used to watch this show when I was at college and blah blah blah. But I think it was great anyhow because you were able to explain it and you had like different ideas going on. So I wouldn't really change anything. Maybe in other tasks you can try to give examples, but in this one I think that was perfect.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, so let's try somebody else with the same one. Maybe Joel, you there?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so you can start.
Okay. I have the feeling that I would choose the comedy about school life. First of all, because I like to laugh. And in addition to that, I think that jokes are an important part of our social lives, due to the fact that people who laugh are healthier than people who don't. Also, I think that the students would feel much familiar if they would listen to the comedy about school life. And to reiterate my point of view, I would choose comedy about school life because of the reasons I explained.
Okay, nice. That sounds very academic. You like it. So you use a lot of translations. I think you have good vocabulary. First of all, in addition to that, due to the fact that also that was really cool in your conclusion as well. So well done. However, I would, if I were you, try to maybe focus on one or two of those ideas because I think you got like three. So maybe if you can focus on two and give an example or just explain a bit more, it will be like, it will look a bit more complete, So if you're saying, first, because I like to laugh, before adding a second reason, explain a bit more on why you like to laugh or how or what makes you laugh, or maybe you can, give me an example of a TV show that you watch and how that contributes to your life. So maybe two ideas and try to explain them a bit more.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. So now let's see. Okay, so this one here. All young men and young women should be required to complete 2 years of military service for their countries. In your opinion, is this a good idea? Why or why not? Provide supporting details in your response. Okay. So maybe Roger? Go now.
Okay, I not agree with that idea because I think it's a waste of time. To begin with, a lot of my friends say that they could have studied something else or uh, invest their time in something better because they think that they didn't do too much in the military service. And some of my other friends says that they can do much more in their time instead of going to a military service.
Okay. All right, perfect. So, okay, like the response, like if you were specific, you talked about your friends, and that was an example. So just maybe careful with the transitions you're using. So you said, I don't agree since it's a waste of time. So that's your reason, right? And then when you talked about your friends, you said, to begin with, I have a lot of friends that told me this. So maybe the right transition would be something like to illustrate, or for instance, to begin with, maybe for the reason, right? So to begin with, it's a waste of time. For instance, a lot of my friends went to the military or went to the army and I don't know, they said this. So careful with that. I like the grammar you're using. Vocabulary is great. You know, like they have given or they've given. So no more comments for that one.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. So this one here now. Investing in a house is much better than investing in the stock market. In your opinion, is that a good idea? Why or why not?
I have a question. So this is an actual question of the TOEFL test?
I'm sorry, I was speaking with my Mako. No, it's not actually. It's not an actual question. It's just like a sample question.
Okay, but we can expect something similar, could be.
Yeah, you may have something like this.
Okay.
So, you know, this is mostly about finance. So finance is one of the topics. So usually, I mean, it's not that common. To be honest, the most common topics are the ones that are just like personal ones. Like, do you prefer to have class in the morning? Or the ones we've seen, you know, like, do you prefer, or do you think that our life is easier right now? So, however, there are some cases in which you have more, I don't know, broader questions, let's say. So yeah, you can expect something like that. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So maybe Orlando, if you're there.
Sorry, I couldn't take notes because I'm not with my notebook right now.
Okay. Don't you think you can try? Okay, yeah. So what about who's read me note? You there?
Excuse me, teacher, what did you say?
I'm sorry?
What did you say? I didn't listen very well. The last
I was
question.
asking who's read me note? If you're there, could you please turn your mic off? So otherwise I'm gonna have to Okay, well then. Maybe. Okay, guys, well, anyhow. Anybody wants to go with this question?
Teacher, I didn't understand very well this question. Investing in the stock market refers like your own business, something like that?
No, not really. It's like the real estate. I think in Spanish, the translation would be like la bolsa de valores.
Oh, okay, teacher. Thank you.
So yeah, what is it better? You know, in some cases, when you don't really know what an option is, especially if it's an option, then choose the one that you find easier. Yeah, like in this case, it will be the house, right? You can just talk about why investing in a house is the best option. You could say maybe because you get to live there, it's not gonna go anywhere. Obviously, the price goes up and up. So, you know, try to go always for the easier way, the easier choice. But of course, if you do know what the stock market is, if you have some ideas, then you can try that too. Yes, Lucia?
Teacher, I think I can try to bring.
Okay. All right, that's awesome. So you can go now.
Well, from my point of view, it is not what to say about which one is better, because it depends of the knowledge of the knowledge that you have, and if you know how to administrate your money, you can invest on the stock market because the volatility in the market is high. So you know you need to know how to manage, and if for you it's better and don't take risks to buy a home, because after the price and the market will be high, and this is my opinion.
Okay, that was cool. So you do have some ideas, you have some vocabulary as well regarding finance. Okay, maybe I would try to always have like one option in mind, even if you know, personally think that it depends, because it obviously depends, but always try to just choose one. Okay, so maybe that's what I would say, but I think overall that was really great response. Nice.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay then, let's try another one, a different one. Maybe, okay, let's do course. Okay. So here we have, some people prefer to finish the assignment a long time before the due date, while others prefer finishing assignments right before the due date. So which one do you prefer and why? 15 seconds. Okay, so maybe Eloy?
Yes, teacher. Okay. From my point of view, I really prefer to finish my assignments for a long time before the due date. And I believe this mainly because I don't think that there will be problems if you want to finish your homeworks just before the due time, because it will be some troubles that you don't expect it, and this can affect your assignment, and this will cause that you don't finish it, or at least don't finish well.
Okay, nice. So perfect. So you had your reason. There could be something could go wrong. Maybe you cannot make it at the end, or you're gonna make something not worth it. Maybe I would try to give an example, make it the argument shorter, give something like, even if it's short, an example, maybe what could happen or what could go wrong. Maybe you could say, for example, your computer stop working all of a sudden, or it doesn't necessarily have to be like a personal story, but it could also be something like that. And maybe just that, careful with some words that don't have like a plural form. For example, the word homework, right? So it's just homework, or the word travel as well. So just travel. Okay. Now, maybe Chocabe, you want to try this question too?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
In my opinion, I prefer to finish all my homework before a long time due to the date, because one of the reasons of that is because in some cases you can commit some mistakes and the professor can review this part and you can change your homework in order to have a better score. And the other way, you can relax and pass more time with other activities and other hobbies that you really liked. And that's all my reason that I prefer to finish all my homework before a long time due to the date.
Okay. All right, perfect. So you have 2 reasons. Your conclusion. Okay. Maybe make sure to check out some vocabulary, as on like academic life, assignments, homework, that kind of stuff, like the due date, right? So long time before the due date or the deadline, you could also say. Maybe that in your conclusion, if you want to say, so those are my reasons, or those are all the reasons, try to use the word why. So the reasons why, right? The reasons why I prefer these, or the reasons why I believe this. So you can use that word.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay, let's try something else. Okay, here. I was thinking of one. Okay, so do you think we should preserve the old building in the city? So you know how in most cities you have this old building, this ancient building that's like part of the culture or history of the city. So do you think that we should preserve that or not? Things. Okay, perhaps Milenka? Oh yes, you are able to raise your hand.
Yes, teacher. Okay. I think that it's not necessary to preserve the old building because it represents a risk for people's life. What I mean, when a building, for example, it has many years, it's very dangerous when people lives inside this because it gets weak. The building gets unsafe, and for that reason, I think it's better to destroy these kind of buildings and construct others. Thank you.
Okay, nice, perfect. So, okay. Okay, so no comments, maybe the conclusion for that reason, that's why. And yes, Ale, you were raising your hand.
Yes, teacher, I want to try.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, I believe that we shouldn't. What's the question? Sorry, I got nervous. We shouldn't hold old buildings because I believe I I know that is historical for some people, but it's not necessary. In some way, it's a wall to the development of city or a place. I think it's important to got new buildings or got new kind of development because the past is not always important for us.
Okay, an interesting view. So, okay, no comments again. You can use some transitions as you have more ideas. Besides, uh, we need to promote the development of the city, build new buildings, and careful with the tenses too. It's important to get new buildings, right? Instead of growth.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's see. Okay, maybe. All right, here we have the university. The university decides to remodel the dormitory and add a new space to it. Which space do you recommend to add to the dorm or to your dorm? A cafe, a study room, or a game room? What would you guys want to have or would like to have in your dorm? So 15 seconds. Okay, so is there anyone who wants to go? Do you guys want to try? Yes, Lucia?
Yes, teacher, I'm sorry. Well,
Okay, go ahead.
I would definitely choose the study room because I consider I am a person who needs more space to study, and I need to have a good organization before to start. Because if not, I could feel frustrated sometimes. And that's why I will choose the study room. And I consider that it is necessary to have a more light, more space, more organization. So that's why I will consider this option.
Okay, nice, well done. So, okay, nothing to change. One little comment. Make sure that if you're gonna do like a closing idea, conclusion, you leave that till the end, right? Not at the end of each idea or at the end of each reason, but at the end of the whole speech. So don't say something like at the middle, that's why, and then add something else, okay? Try to leave that till the end. Add transitions, and maybe if you have that extra time, you can try to give an example. Right now, if you're saying that organization is important to you, you need light and in a very unique space to study, maybe you can tell me about how you have that space at home, maybe, or how you had it when you were at college, or how you didn't have it and how frustrating that was for you. Okay, so try to add an example. Okay. Anyone else wants to try this one? No? Another one then? Okay. All right, so this one here is, some people prefer to give their opinion immediately. Others prefer to wait and listen to others' opinions before giving their own. So which one do you think is better? Let's- Okay, so anybody wants to go? Yes, Milenka?
Okay, teacher, I would like to try.
Okay, sure, go now.
I think that it's better to listen the other person and think about your answer and then to give an answer to the person, because I firmly think that it's always better to listen what the other person is talking about and after thinking give a good answers, because when you don't think and don't listen the other person, you are you can't sorry, you can give good answers and probably to I don't know how to finish, sorry, and probably to don't have a good conversation.
Okay, probably you could say not to have a good conversation, right? Or to not have a good conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever that happens, you don't know how to finish, just go for the safe one, you know? So that's why I think so, or therefore that's why I believe that, or that's why I feel that way, something like that. So, okay, but well done. I like how you explained it. An example would have been good. Careful with the verb listen. Remember, it's always listen to. So you should listen to the other person, listen to what they have to say, and then answer. So
Okay, thank you. I guess what I need to practice more is to organize my ideas when I am answering something. That's something that I have to practice.
Okay, maybe, but yeah, it's just practice. And also try to always, you know, make it a bit more concise. So don't worry about making it that long, but also about making it a bit more concise. Okay, yes, Ale, wanna go?
Teacher, yes, I wanna go.
Okay, so go.
Thank you. I think it's better listen other people. When you listen, you can know better the other person. Also, if you prefer listen people, uh, they would appreciate that and also consider you as a good listener. Finally, I consider myself an introvert person, so I always prefer to listen before talking.
Okay, nice. These are your two ideas. Well, kind of free. You have the conclusion. You use those transitions. So first, also, finally, nothing to say. Careful with some grammar. In the indefinite form of the words, like it's better to listen to other people, right? Or I prefer to listen. Careful with words.
Okay,
Yes.
to listen. Yeah, you're a teacher. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. So do you have any questions about this task? Next, we will start with we'll get started with task 2. Or any comments? Okay. So then that's gonna be it for today's class. I'll send you the survey now. It should be on your screens. And I'll be seeing you next week on Tuesday. So I hope you have a nice night, a nice weekend.
Teacher, I have a question. In some cases, we have a group. Well, in my group, we finished the class this week. So, what is the next complete the second TOEFL or simulation?
Oh yes, for those of you guys that are finishing the course, you do need to take the final simulation test. It's on the website. The same way you take the same way that you take the first one, you need to take the final one. It's just to download the other volume of the program. And especially if you want to get a certification, I think that you're supposed to take the final one because that's going to be part of your score. So yes, that will be the last thing that you guys need to do.
Okay, teacher. And if we don't finish all the calls, we can finish in the next week, or it's only for this week?
As far as I know, you can have the 12 sessions even if you're done with the course. So you could continue having the sessions until you're done with the 12 then. However, I'm going to ask and I'll send a message to your group that's just ending because I don't know, I need to talk to Ruth first, but I think it's more likely that you can have the 12 sessions. But I'll talk to her right now and I'll send a message to the group.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay, Karen, no worries. Okay, so see you guys. Take care.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, teacher.
teacher.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
teacher.
teacher.
Good night.